Happy Wednesday, everybody. How's it going? Hey, I'm just chilling here at my office. Pretty laid back um, setting today. It's been a busy day. So I want to give a few shout outs before I start. I want to give Rachel a shout out. I want to give Valerie a shout out. Roland as well, and Powers. Powers and I have been friends for a long, long time, and he gave me a book today, a new book that I haven't read before, with some very heartfelt words in there that I'll cherish forever. So a shout out to those people. Um, Christy, and I could go on with shout outs, and maybe I'll start making that part of this, but people that have expressed um, uh, interest, and that they actually look forward to these videos. So I'm glad that I'm helping somebody, or that people are watching, that they find that my content somewhat valuable. You know, in life and in business, we're gonna deal with people that are very, very challenging to deal with. And we take the higher road, and we take the higher road, and we keep taking the higher road. And always, right, in any situation, we want to strive to take the higher road. But when you've been taking the higher road with the same person for multiple months, and even up to close to a year, you have to realize that you're no longer taking the higher road, you're being taken advantage of. And at that point, typically the higher road is just to bounce, just to distance yourself from that person at work, at the office, um, whether it's a coworker or a colleague. I'm not saying like, uh, bounce from your spouse if you're upset with them tonight or anything like that. I'm more speaking in work and friend type, acquaintance type terms. But I've committed to write a little bit more in the near future. I didn't write any articles on Medium for 2 or 3 months, and just had other things pressing. But I'm going to start doing that. I don't know if you read my last article called "Failing Your Way to Success," but failure has been a big part of my life. I have failed at a lot of things, both personally and professionally. Um, it's so important that when we fail at something, that we give yourself grace when you fail at something. I give myself, like, I don't know, I guess I'm usually throwing my little pity party for an hour or two, calling people that will validate my how I was wronged, rather than calling somebody that will create a solution based around accountability. But let's say after your pity party, after your failure, it's really important that you revisit that, and that you account for your part in it. And the reason that you account for your part, you see what your part in the failure was. The reason that's so important is because that will ultimately give you confidence to, when you move forward in a future opportunity, whether it's the next opportunity you come across, or whether it's years down the road, you will remember accounting for XYZ in a failure. Whether it's, I've had failed companies, I've had, a a failed marriage. I've had failures at pretty much all levels, and I've also had some successes, and I've learned, and I'm still learning, that it's the failures, it's the people that you don't jive with, or that are just, you just don't um, um, mesh well with personally or professionally. I would kind of assimilate that to a failure, but it's looking at where you could have been better at something, accounting for that, and then I'm a firm believer that it's the way that we respond to our failure that will determine our next success. And I'm not just talking about attitude, I'm talking about accountability. Because accountability equals confidence. So, again, it's the way we respond to failure that will ultimately determine our next success. It might not be tomorrow, it might not be next year, it might be a few years down the road. But by breaking down your failure and your part in it, you're learning valuable lessons, and you're ultimately learning um, uh, something that doesn't work. So you've got your master goal, the goal that you're trying to reach, that you failed at. So that gives you, hey, that trail up the mountain to the goal doesn't work. I've already tried that. I've already been there, and I learned lessons X, Y, and Z. So I'm gonna try a different trail up the mountain to my goal. I'm gonna try a different routine, different techniques for reaching my goal, but with the mindset of, hey, I learned from that one time that I failed, and I learned that some of it worked, some of it didn't. So I can apply those experiences over here to this new opportunity, and that failure ultimately ends up being taking you one step closer to success. So if you're like me, I just want to give you a ton of hope, because you can fail epically. But once you learn to account for the missteps that you took and that you are responsible for, that accountability leads to confidence. That confidence leads to the next opportunity or the next relationship. Like, in all instances, the fastest way to get to any goal is to work on you. We can't just bounce from relationship to relationship or from job to job without working on us and improving our own skill set, our own experiences. And guys, love yourself. Give yourself grace. Give yourself just enough love to believe in yourself, to know that you can do it, to know that even though you may have failed, you aren't a failure. Even though this relationship with this person didn't work out, that doesn't mean you're a failure at all relationships, and that you're socially allergic to all people. So I pray about you guys. I'm so grateful for all of you. And I hope that I've done something today to add to your Wednesday. And I hope that you have a great week ahead. and a great weekend. Next week, I'm going to be sharing, announcing a pretty cool award that I've been given. So I'll be excited. I mean, who doesn't want to talk about themselves, right? Like brag about themselves. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.